Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, a woman set on fire by a border breaker illegal immigrant inside a New York City subway car. Where's the Daniel Penny crowd at? Huh? Where's the Daniel, by his actions, racial racism, terrorism, Penny crowd at? Right? When Jordan Neely, the American black man, who unfortunately was having some things going on with him, when he was doing whatever he was doing in that New York City subway car, have some issues going on with him, right? And all of a sudden, what was the precipice that marked his door was that, oh my goodness, he's been assaulting people, but nowhere did they say that he actually was assaulting people on that. But then when Daniel, by his actions, racial racism, Penny, saw that, oh my goodness, is he moving toward this woman from within the Padama's culture? Oh my, and she's like, she's trying to protect her child. Oh my goodness, we must protect. You said it goes, right? And then the thing about it is, there were two other cowards. And I want to make sure I say this before I forget, at least on this part. Notice this, for the people who remember this, there was two other people. I'm going to show you in general in a second here. Two other people that were assisting and helping to sit there and basically put out the life of Jordan Neely, the American black man, who was put in a chokehold by that racial racism terrorist, by his actions, Daniel Penny, for about 5 or 6 minutes. And the people who know that know, but people don't know, if you put that real naked choke on somebody's back of their neck, it don't take no minute for somebody to choke somebody out like that. Right? And even some of the best, some of the MMA people, very small amount will actually be able to get out of that on that situation, right? So you're talking about less than 30 seconds, that person is basically out. If they keep a little bit longer, now you're talking about brain death, right? So you imagine somebody, I'm talking about less than a minute or so. And Daniel, racial racism, terrorism, Penny, kept that rear naked chokehold on Jordan Neely for about 5 or 6 minutes, along with those little cowards that assisted him. And one of the things that still wasn't talked about was that white Hispanic coward that was sitting there and assisting him. It was probably, some people say it may have been both on white Hispanic, but no matter what, it was at least one Hispanic that sat there and assisted racial racism terrorist Penny, Daniel Penny, right? The other personnel might have been white Hispanic, might have been kind of people of color, who knows? But regardless, notice how those two people really none too much talked about. It was not too many things talked about that. And I did a Pacifically show on that. I make this point also because before I get to this point about that woman that was set afire by this border breaker, again, where's all that jumping up and down the sympathy for him? For the same personnel, for Jordan Neely, where's all the same personnel at? Right? People were parading Daniel by his actions, racial racism, Penny around like he's some hero, right? But let me sit there and show you this about the Daniel Penny situation. So just a few seconds. So just in case, again, because this system knows that many people have a very short-term memory. I'm not talking about health-wise, right? Because there are some people maybe down the road, right? Or near down the road or far down the road. They'd be like, what are they talking about? We never heard this before, right? Because sometimes you can't have, there's good assumptions, there's bad assumptions, right? So this is, for the people who don't know, this is the racial racism Daniel Penny, right? That has Jordan Neely, the American black man, in the chokehold, which I've already explained the reasons. What they were saying are the non-rational reasons, right? Because if this were reversed, and you imagine that's an American black man, and then he was holding a white male or Asian male or white Hispanic male in that position, and run naked choke, what the hell do you think will be going on then? Outrage. Okay, so let me go ahead and play for some people who don't remember, or down the road, some people like, I don't remember hearing about this. It's real fast. Give me a second here. Before we get into the topic. Okay. Wait a second here. All right.
The man in the white t-shirt being held on the floor is Jordan Neely. He is 30 years old, homeless, and diagnosed with schizophrenia. He boarded the train at the previous stop. Witnesses say Neely entered the car and immediately began threatening passengers, saying he was, quote, ready to die and would kill a motherfucker. Daniel Penny, a 24-year-old student and former Marine from Long Island,
he's hitting that guy,
took Neely to the ground and put him in a chokehold. He's the
You see already right there. Both of them
one guy there
assisting in basically the death. And here it is. He's getting choked out, and both of those cows are sitting there assisting with this racial racism. Daniel Penny
straining Neely.
Man, look at that.
These 6 minutes will change everything for both men.
Look at that.
Neely will be rushed to the hospital
and
declared dead.
Down. Look at that. That's all I wanted to just show that image. Let it burn in your mindset. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, that's enough of that. So getting back, before I get to this story, get back to the story, hero. Give me 1 second. So look at this little demonic, also border breaker, illegal immigrant, violent predator. He set afire this woman who was inside a subway train. And it said she was homeless as well. And this border breaker illegal immigrant just casually, leisurely walked up, used whatever flammable situation, engulfed her, sat back, watched, flamed the fireness, right, as it engulfed her. And you had however number of people that was walking up and down that train. Where's all the people at then not jumping up on him, right? Put him in a real naked choke. Where's all those people at? Huh? That was a woman, homeless woman on top of that, right? So where's all those people to jump up and down? It's almost like they see another culture doing something. The one that supplies doing something wrong to somebody else. Well, but a black male does something, which again, the number one males out there who commit the most crimes is not black males. It's numbers of males within the Palm-based culture. But you got people, latecomers and border breakers and people hiding under people of color banner, minority banner, visa overstairs. You get the point, right? Sitting there riding on the backs of what American blacks have already built the country up already. And people just get to sit there and bite off the supper that already American blacks have already sit there and set up. What despicableness. And unfortunately, there are millions within American blacks who just let these people just do whatever, right? But American blacks can't sit there and do it. No other culture, because it's not going to be tolerated, right? So let me go ahead and just get to this particular first video. Let me go ahead and play this.
Attention now to some of the other news of the day and new details in the case of a woman set on fire on a subway train in Brooklyn. Today, the man accused of killing her, an undocumented migrant from Guatemala, Today, the man accused of killing her, an undocumented migrant from Guatemala, was held without bail. Police say he told them he was so drunk at the time, he doesn't remember doing it.
How many people are going to sit there and buy into that, right? Well, he just made a mistake. Nope. Right?
Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo has the latest.
A disgruntled Sebastian Zepeda listened intently to prosecutors with the help of a translator.
Do you hear that bull crap that they just mentioned? Oh, he's listening intently. Like he cares. And he has a translator. How in the hell? Anyway. But he sneaked his little demonic border breaker illegal immigrant self across that border, right? But remember, American blacks is supposed to be helping the border breaker illegal immigrant personnel out, right? Oh, they're people of color, they're minority, they're human beings. And this is what they be sitting there doing when they sit there and know that there are certain numbers of American blacks that sit there and say that foolish crap, with very few exceptions. This is what these border breaker illegal immigrants do, especially there's certain types of border breaker illegal immigrant numbers of women who sitting there popping those children out like candy apples left and right. This is what they're doing. Because they know, they say, oh, those silly Negroes, they still not trying to help us out, right? But they can't go break border immigration laws. They so silly, they don't even get it with few exceptions. Let's continue.
Translator, as they detailed the savage crime he's accused of. He told police he drinks a lot of liquor and didn't know what happened when allegedly setting a sleeping woman on fire in a Brooklyn subway car Sunday. Prosecutors say Zepeda fanned the flames by waving a shirt up and around the victim, causing the victim to become engulfed.
But again, where was the pro by his actions racial racism terrorist Daniel Penny at? Where's all the people that didn't jump up and say, oh my goodness, there is a woman being put on fire by that guy. Oh my goodness, we must run up there and put him in a rear naked choke or tackle him. Where is that at? It wasn't as if he just sit there and set a fire to that woman who was homeless as well, right? In a subway car, right? It wasn't as if he just went up there, used whatever he used to set her ablaze and then ran off. No, he sat there, set her ablaze and sat there and just be like, he sat there for whatever time frame and you see fanned the flames, you'd be like, what? All right, really? All right. Because if that was American black, oh my goodness, man, he probably been thrown off the darn train, right? Beat up or something like that. What? I tell you. Anyway, continuing.
Zepeda was arraigned on a top charge of murder in the first degree. The 33-year-old is an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala. ICE deported him shortly after he crossed the border in 2018, but at some point he snuck back into the country and was living in a homeless shelter in East New York.
But again, right, you got personnel that are doing like this, right? When it's concerning border breaker illegal immigrant personnel, they're not angelic, right? They're not angelic at all. Hold on for a second. Give me one moment. How does it sound that you got people that think American blacks are supposed to be helping people out just like him, who is a border breaker illegal immigrant? He's violent, right? He's a drunkard, right? And however many times that he sit there actually snuck across that border even before he was caught. Never even really been knowing. But American blacks are supposed to be like, yes, we got to help. Those are the brothers and sisters and stuff like that. It's about helping humanity. How does that sound to some puppet Muppets?
I thought it was dumb. Maybe you're right.
Right. It ain't laughing matter, but it's laughable and silliness. Like, they really do think American blacks collectively supposed to have border breaker illegal immigrant personnel, right? Let me sit there and show you something else. Right now, let's keep this in mind, right? This is what American blacks are supposed to be doing with people like this, right? That's breaking border immigration laws every damn day. Visa overstills left and right. People playing people of color, minority-based games every damn day and stuff like that. Latecomers sitting there laughing at American blacks collectively. They don't know the damn games. But this is what they want American blacks to do collectively for these border breakers. Give me a second here. Here we go. Uh-oh. Look at that. But American blacks supposed to be helping people about to do something here. Uh-oh. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that 4, 5, 6. Look at the vehicle. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm losing count now. But this is what American blacks are supposed to be helping, right? That's what American Blacks Collective is supposed to be helping people doing stuff like that every freaking day somewhere. You got people that really do think collective American blacks are idiotic. This is how they look at numbers of American blacks, right? They really do look at American blacks collective as idiotic to not see this game. That's what they do. Sad.
Something is clearly wrong with a person that would set an innocent individual on fire, a woman, and sit there and watch her burn.
Mayor Adams met with President-elect Trump's incoming border czar just weeks ago to discuss a shared pursuit of violent criminals as Trump promises mass deportations. How that plan will fare with the sanctuary protections of New York is something Tom Homan is now taking up with the governor.
But right before you saw this picture, you saw some few women and had some children. You have to watch that game, right? You have to watch that game. And there probably are certain numbers within American black womanism and some American black males within that naivete, with very few exceptions, that will see that and say, oh my goodness, but look at those are just women. They're coming from a third world country. Oh my goodness. You're like, hey, that's their damn problem. Right? And how about the other ones that are going through things in their own country and they're not running and fleeing? And who said that American blacks are supposed to be the saviors of people? And already it's been shown over and over again, American blacks don't get the reciprocity back. Golly. This system has really destroyed the majority of American black psyche. They really have destroyed that. Right? To not see through this stuff. Now you got those border breaker illegal immigrant women, got these kids. How many of them are pregnant already, right? How many of them will go straight to a certain agency, go get on food stamps because you don't have to prove you're a citizen. Because you don't have to prove you're a citizen. Because you don't have to prove you're a citizen, especially for the women. Let me phrase that a little bit more, right? Don't think for a second. I don't want to go into all that. Just know there are people that know what's going on. So if it wasn't freebies all over the place, border breaker illegal immigrant numbers of women, especially with the children too, they won't be coming. And then who's going to pay for that pregnancy or pregnancies of that border breaker illegal immigrant women? Huh? Who is paying for them? Oh boy, these games. See these games, man. But American blacks are supposed to be helping American border breaker illegal immigrant men and women out, right? Let's continue.
She has a green light law. ICE and CBP can't even work with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement can't even share DMV data with these people. So Governor Hochul, shame on you.
Governor Hochul, about a month ago, reiterated her support for asylum seekers, but indicated the state would cooperate with federal immigration authorities to some extent.
That's separate from people who are criminals. Someone breaks the law, I'll be the first one to call up ICE and say, get them out of here.
Details on the man prosecutors say set a woman on fire, killing her inside a subway train in Brooklyn. A grand jury indicting Sebastian Cepeda on 4 counts of murder. The charges announced during a brief court hearing this morning. Cepeda did not appear in court, but will be expected in court for his arraignment on January 7th. The Brooklyn district attorney said he is confident about the evidence in this case.
I want to assure the people of this city that this office will do everything in our power to hold him accountable. This was a malicious deed. A sleeping, vulnerable woman on our subway system. A sleeping, vulnerable woman on our subway system. A sleeping, vulnerable woman on our subway system.
Mayor Adams wants the NYPD to partner with Homeland Security to explore criminal charges under the federal arson statute. Cepeda remains jailed at Rikers Island. Police have not yet identified the victim.
And actually, they have identified the victim already now. So, but again, American Blacks Collective are supposed to help out these violent border breaker illegal immigrant personnel like this person is, right? And it makes sure they always keep saying woman, 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 woman. You know what I said? Woman, homeless woman, woman. But they don't talk about who is the #1 homeless people in this nation. Black males. They don't want to talk about that because then it's like, well, they're lazy, they're this, they're that, right? But at the same time, they're still talking about, oh my goodness, more women rising as for homelessness. They ain't telling them, hey, they're lazy. There it is. You got numbers of Hispanic personnel that are becoming homeless more. Where's the conversation with that? Calling them lazy? Nope. But only when it's the American Blacks. Hot dang, boy, this game is so obviously when you see through this game. And unfortunately, there's millions of American Blacks who do not see it, these games, with very few exceptions. But remember, where is by his actions, racial racism, terrorists, Daniel Penny crowd at, right? Let me play you something right quick let me play you something else on that.
The only way you know how to be. And the only thing that will change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you do to us. And I hope that happens very soon.
Wow. This evening obviously hasn't gone as I'd hoped. And I think I'm having a full-on panic attack right now, so I'm going to go to the bathroom and get myself together, and when I come back, I hope you don't see me as the devil.
Security to explore criminal charges under the federal arson statute. Cepeda
right? So the point I'm getting at is that I don't know if you heard the other part I was saying because it kind of went quiet. I think I hit the wrong button, the mute button. So all I have to say is that this is a symbolism of American blacks, symbolism wise, right? And American blacks collective are supposed to be like this little thing right here coming up right here, right? And and do not see what's going on, what's happening, what's right in front, right? Do not see. And this is what happened to, or will continue to keep happening to many numbers of American blacks who don't see the game. Come here. What? Oh, what happened? Let's show this again. Symbolism. Was it? You want to see it again? American blacks come up here and say, hey, what's going on? People of color, minority. American blacks are good. What? Come here. Oh. Happens every day. Numbers of American blacks that don't even realize what's going on, right?
Peace, perhaps on your side, Maximal scum. Yes, but not on ours. Permit me to inform you that an enemy which appears to be peaceful may in fact be merely biding its time.
That's right. And this is what quite a number of people they keep doing. They just in their bonding time, they're laughing and joking, playing games in front of American blacks collectively mindset, right? But again, numbers of Asians, cast of some Asians, they got an anti hatred bill for them, specifically as if they are a gigantic homogeneousness in America. And they're not. They are made up of various types of ethnic backgrounds, right? And how many of them can't stand one another, right? But what was used as usual, just blame it on black males, right? So, oh my goodness, a few years ago, oh my goodness, there was like a lambasting of, look over there, American blacks are sitting there attacking the Asians. American blacks are doing this. Oh my goodness, yeah, we need to have a talk to the black folks about, this anti-Asian. Which Asians? You see the game of this, right? And then it came out and it got quiet after that it wasn't American blacks who was committing these assaults and harassments toward numbers of Asian personnel, right? It was males within the predominant culture who was the top ones. You see how this disgusting ass game goes. It's just ridiculous that this is allowed. This system treats American blacks collectively as like infants. Like infants, right? And this kind of things, these happen under Biden and Harris administration, by the way. I'm not going politically. I ain't going there. But I make this point because after the elections, then you had people that was getting on American black folks back saying, "Oh my goodness, look what y'all give me 1 second. Let me sit there and play you something for a second. Hold on."
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my.
Right? But after elections, people get on American blacks' backs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Black people, black males, they vote for Trump. What are you talking about? Collectively, American blacks voted for Kamala. Right? But of course, blame the American black male. That's the number one person you must blame. Even though, again, American blacks, collectively, the ones who voted for Kamala. Right? Oh my, and he had some other people who know who they were doing. They brought up some of these black celebrities, coonish ones, the ones applies to, who are let down, who then sit there and go off on the people they should have went off on and said, "Hey man, you wanted collective American blacks to sit there and vote for you, but you're not giving a hate crime bill, right? Pacific American blacks, right? Are trying to do more for American black males who are the most hated, even though they don't commit the most crimes, right? No type of cultural counseling for free. No type of free education for the ones who want to take it. The ones who want to have free vocationary. No Pacific ones for black businesses. But at the same time, you got a person who know they are that will sit there and be like, "Oh my goodness, you cannot use race as as a main scenario to be able to go to college." And the people who know they are that was sitting there fighting against this, you be like, "But that kind of personnel who was doing that." But at the same time, if you sit there and saying things a certain way, they don't call you anti-Semitic. Even though you sit there and say, "Wait a minute, what's a Semitic?" Semitic are people, there's various groups of people that speak a Semitic language. It's not a one-look personnel. And then the personnel use certain type of Asianness to sit there and help out with that, to sit there and strike down race being able to be used as it should more, specifically for American blacks and college applications, right? They struck that down. Right? But they didn't sit there and strike down being people using gender. You see that? They didn't strike down minorities, international students. They didn't strike down none of those kind of things, but they make sure to say race, talking about American blacks, basically. But the games are crazy, man. So I make this point before I finish up. Yes, unfortunately, when Trump gets in office, there's still going to be more black pain. That ain't going to change. It's probably even more coming up more, right? Because there are people who look at Trump as the last remaining great Anglo hope. If they're going to sit there and come down on American blacks even more, right? And there is not going to be, I am saying this right now, December 31st, 2024, there is not going to be an anti-American black hate crime bill. It's not going to happen. There is not going to be any type of main preponderance or significant reparations for American blacks. I'm saying that right now. And again, that's a very few error rate in that. But again, American blacks are supposed to be the helpers of other cultures and backgrounds. And as the black pain continues to keep happening under Trump's administration as well, they will say, "Oh my goodness, see, look at under Trump's administration, nothing is really happening." And you say, "Well, the last 4 years happened, right, for American blacks, right, on the Biden and Harris administration, right? You still had black males that were still getting lynched. You still had numbers of black women that was going missing, right? Hate upon American black males. Still the number one people by stats, not made up, by stats, within the last 4 years, we're still American blacks who have been the most hated still. Number one, not Asians, not Hispanics, not religional concept, not trans, but American blacks. But American blacks, last 4 years, still had not got a anti-American hate crime bill. Do you see the most craziest part? But they're going to sit there and blame Trump when he gets in office when there is more black pain. The sad part. And lastly, I'm just going to show this because remember, this system has a hatred for numbers of American blacks. The system has a brilliancy to keep people in chaotic chaos, not to sit there and look at things as a timepiece purpose, right? Because most people, I'm not talking about health wise, most people have a very short-term memory about different things, right? And especially under American blackism has a very short-term memory. I'm not talking about health wise of so much consistently black pain.
Who walked out of the Democratic convention formed their own party.
The Southern revolt against President Truman reaches its climax at Birmingham under the states' rights banner.
The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as their presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negro race. To break down segregation. To force enough troops in the army.
As their presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negro race into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches.
And that was a person that was a senator in South Carolina for many, many years, who was a known racial racism segregationist, known highly hateful against American blacks, right? Hated them. Now, he would use them, right? Maybe how to serve babies in between there. And that don't mean a damn thing. You had numbers of a certain type of Anglo numbers of slave owners that were sitting there robbing black women. So we're not going to play that tactic. And again, so Senator Strom Thurmond, who is a racial racism, super segregationist, hatefulness, right? Racial terrorist, who was a senator in South Carolina for many years, who then he became the governor, right? I make this point and about to close up. I'm showing my video. Is because Biden, I did another show on that Biden was at this dinner that was celebrating that segregationist, that racial hatred segregationist, especially toward American blacks, at a dinner, and he gave a speech for him, and he was basically calling him a friend. Many people don't even know that. And so Kamala sit there and accepted, the position to be his running mate for the VP of the United States, which then, Biden won. So what does that tell you? Kamala Harris accepted this position, right, to be the VP of Biden, in which Biden also called Senator Strong racial racism terrorist, who was a senator out of South Carolina for many years, a friend. But at the same time, American blacks, especially American black males, collectively were looked down upon because some voted for Trump, right? Collectively they voted for Kamala. You see how this sounds, right? So, and lastly, there was a vigil for the woman who was basically burned alive on a subway train in New York City. There's a vigil held for her. And then again, as usual, they utilize the numbers of black people as usual in this, and some other people, but they definitely utilize some black people as usual to sit there and bring upon this. But then when it comes down to, hey man, once y'all sit there and go demand this stuff from legislators and political personnel, the entities, to sit there and finally get some kind of anti-American hatred bill, right, for American blacks. God. Oh, boy.
And local religious and anti-violence leaders gathering in Coney Island tonight to remember that victim who was burned to death on the subway. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso joins us live from the Stillwell Avenue station where they all have come together. Jessica, what's the latest?
Bianca, that's right. And they're still here. They're upstairs in the platform praying for the victim. They say that this was a horrific crime that should have never happened. Now, it was Sunday morning when the victim and the suspect were in the same subway car, and he lit her clothes on fire, the woman burning alive. Now, the prayer vigil taking place here at the same subway station where the woman was burned alive. Her identity still unknown. We are told that they actually did DNA testing, but they still can't identify the victim. All we know about her so far is that she was homeless. The suspect remains behind bars. Police say he's a Guatemalan migrant who entered the country illegally back in 2018. Sebastian Zapeta was deported just days after entering the U.S., but then he snuck back in. The morning of this vicious crime, police say after setting the woman on fire, he then walked out of the subway car and sat on the bench here at the platform and watched her burn alive. Her body burned beyond recognition.
Mm, 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 mm. Right? But you're going to have personnel, they see nothing. They hear nothing. They don't know nothing, right? When it's a border breaker illegal immigrant committing these crimes over and over again, right? But you got sanctuary cities protecting border breakers, right? But people got a very quietness when it's concerned protecting American blacks collectively, because there are some sellouts and coons and some deflectors, unfortunately. And this is why, again, that there will be no reparations preponderantly. This is why there will not be any type of anti-American hate crime bill, because there's too many damn sellouts, too many coons, too many ones that keep deflecting, right? No other culture will sit there and do that, right? When it was time to get that anti-Asian hate crime bill, oh, it didn't take that long at all. You didn't hear caste system Asianists arguing among each other. Well, we ain't worried about that. Nope. So this system has really damaged quite a number of millions of within American Blackism, with few exceptions on that. So I do thank you for tuning in to the Real CP show.
The other news of the